Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 16 millimeter film crew. I'm Cindy,
And I'm Dale.
and this week we watched Disclosure Day, directed by Steven Spielberg. A meteorologist and a cybersecurity expert find themselves at the center of a movement to expose the government's cover up of extraterrestrial secrets. This movie stars Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Eve Houston, and Coleman Domingo. Dale, what were your thoughts about this movie?
I did not like this movie at all. I remember initially when we talked about watching it, we talked about the trailer. I was like, I have a feeling this movie's gonna be bad. Um, I feel like it's in watching it, like it's like all my worst fears in a movie or a movie that Steven Spielberg would direct in a modern age kind of came true. Like those typical hallmarks of what made Spielberg aren't there. For the most part, this feels like I'm watching another somebody's attempt at writing Cloverfield in a way. Um, this movie kind of feels like, especially like the first 30 minutes, not even the first opening scene, it drops you into a setting where you feel like what's happening. I have no idea what's going on, and then it tries to exposition backstory. Which when you have to tell me backstory, I'm already like I'm not buying it. And then it's just so convoluted from that point. It becomes stereotypical. Like it's very much another movie also reminds me of was ripping off of. Have you ever seen like Will Smith Gene Hackman movie called Enemy of the State? It's kind of like dealing with
Mm-mm.
it's kind of dealing with the whole intelligence space where people could track your location or something. This is like 90s. It kind of like that with a modern twist of the MacGuffin now is alien technology that we can track you or whatever. Um, yeah, the movie was bad from the theological debates, between his girlfriend and him about exposing aliens and it'll ruin people's belief in God and all the other stuff. Like it was real, like the writing in this was like really, really not good. Like really poor.
Yes, I also felt that this movie was not going to be good, but I felt like I had to talk about it because it's Steven Spielberg. So I was just like, ugh. And it's so long, which I hate. Um, and yeah, and the writing is just really, really bad. It's like embarrassingly bad because like if anyone else attempted this and they didn't work, it's like, yeah, okay, like I get that, but like this is Steven Spielberg. He didn't write this movie. Someone else did.
But it's
But
a long-term collaborator, yes, who's
he did the story for it.
yeah.
So, and this is a person who like made Third Encounters of the I mean Close Encounters of the Third Kind, who did AI, who made all of these like who really like elevated science fiction in terms of like I guess maybe how we understand it in like a modern sense of cinema. Like he was really at the forefront of some of that stuff. So it's really
Yeah.
weird that this doesn't like that this isn't good. It's very strange that this isn't good. And it's also like strange that like people think it's good. Like the ratings and stuff on this movie is still pretty high considering like I know what I watched and that was
Yeah.
not good. So it's very weird. And I think maybe it's just because it's Spielberg, like people are just giving it the benefit of the doubt.
Hmm.
And like the performances are as good as they can be considering the script. But I don't think anyone's really giving their best necessarily because like you can have a good actor, but if the script's not good, like there's not much to you. That's not like there's not much to work with there. And I feel like people were talking about how this is like Emily Blunt's best performance. I think she did a really great job in that one scene when she was having a panic attack. But in terms of her best performance, like I would not
No.
at all categorize whatever happened here. Like and that's partially because of the script, but that's also partially because of her Botox. Like it is kind of distracting and no shade. It's just like it's hard. It feels like she's doing the best she can to like work past that.
What she's given, yeah.
But it's also just like when your face kind of doesn't move, it's kind of hard to get all of the emotions out, especially considering watching her past projects and knowing like what she is able to do, like pre that stuff. So it is kind of distracting for me at least. I don't know. I'm sure no one else cared, but
Hmm.
for me, I was just like, mm. But I just feel like you had great actors. You had Josh O'Connor, you had Coleman Domingo, like you had all these great actors, but it's like then they say these garbage lines, and it's like, whoa, I don't know. It's just like the whole thing was so deeply convoluted. Like there was so much exposition. The third act, one, way too long, and then also just like really, like I guess if you are interested in conspiracy theories about aliens, I feel like maybe this will be good for you. Like you'll feel justified about your theories or something. But I also
Yeah.
just feel like, from my perspective, I'm like, well, yes, obviously there are other life forms other than just us. So I don't really get the discussion about it in terms of like
Hmm.
trying to figure it out. It's more just like, yeah, we already know. And I'm sure if we did find some extraterrestrial life form, they wouldn't even look like that. So I don't even know. I don't know. It's just it's the topic I don't care about, I guess, is how I feel. And I feel like there
Yeah.
are also there are movies that do these things better. Like to me, Begonia is a great alien movie.
Yeah.
Like one of the best. I feel like if you're again, science fiction is really to give a mirror to society, and I don't know if this did this at all in this movie here. I just feel like it wasn't giving to me, it wasn't really giving a good mirror of like what are we supposed to glean as a society from this film. I just didn't get anything.
Yeah, like the I think the also one of the other big drawing parts. This is like really early in the movie, which makes no sense. This is a big, corporation. Like it's like having the big corporation being the secret arm of the government. I really don't want to deal with that anymore. Especially in this day and age of where we see like Doge, Elon Musk, all this stuff. It's real. It's no longer like fiction of it might be.
Right.
It's a plot point I'm really tired of hearing about, to a degree. And like in the beginning of the movie, like I guess we don't know how long Josh O'Connor's character's been on the run, but apparently he's only been working there for like a couple months, I think, after he gets out of jail or whatever. We don't really know how long he's been working there per se, but like he leaves the company with data and they're searching for him. It is not until, they make a deal with him to return the MacGuffin, as it were, that they go back to their base days later, realize, oh, one of the people in our company that's higher up is gone. Like Cole Domingo's character is like, how did you realize that a regular cybersecurity analyst was gone, but you didn't know one of your directors of a whole department has not been there for a while, and he's in this secret location building sets and stuff like that. Like, how did you not get that at all? Like, and the fact that they set up their base as this giant surveillance apparatus, like that's the most garden point. One of the most important people in your company had no idea was not there for a number of months. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The more they tried to do, the more things didn't make sense. So it was just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, I can't take the story seriously. Like, I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't. Like, even Emily Blunt's whole thing where she's like speaking different languages and she doesn't know what's going on. And she's like telling us that she doesn't get it, or whatever. And it's just like, it kind of is camp in a way if you look at it, like, if you squint, where it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't think this was intended to be funny, but I think you guys like somehow it ended up being funny because like what is this? What's
Yeah,
going on? Like it it over explains and then also like doesn't explain
doesn't
anything. It's
explain.
just
Yeah,
very it's comical if you want to laugh, but also like I don't know which parts were supposed to be funny and which parts were also like, no, we're taking this very seriously. But it just was so ridiculous that I'm like, well, I can't. Like
yeah,
when Josh and Eve are having the conversation about whether or not to expose this stuff, she's like, well, if you tell everyone there's aliens, no one will believe in God. And it's like, well, who? I'm sure a lot of people don't believe in God already. So, like, what is
yeah.
the point that you're making? I don't, I was
Yeah.
so confused why she just like blurted that out. Like, that was so weird to me. Like, that's your reasoning for not doing this
Yeah.
because of God? Like,
And his response makes sense. You left the convent, so clearly you're not all the way there either. What's like it's trying to create an unnecessary theological debate from a person who clearly does not
yes.
believe that standpoint either. Like, yeah,
Yeah, and her whole thing about whether she believes in God or not, I'm like, I don't care. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know why we're even talking about this. Like, it was that it was like shoehorning like a whole bunch of other things, how these devices are used. It's like you had to figure like they set up the mystery and then they go through like this actions set pieces where it's like they're on the run and then it goes into the explaining of
It's
what
a long sequence
all
of
of
dialogue.
this
Yeah.
is going on and then it turns around at the end and says okay now we're exposing it to everyone, this is how everyone receives the
Yeah.
information about the aliens. And I just am like you guys are doing so much stuff. You have like there's two main characters, which is Emily and Josh, but like there's also Eve and there's Coleman and there's Colin Firth.
Colin
And
Firth.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, there's too many characters that we're working with. Like, if you want to do the story, pick one person. Like, this should be a very simple story
Hmm.
for me in terms of like how it could be effective. Because I feel like all of these plots, all of these characters, it just makes it so dense to the point where it's just like not even worth trying to figure anything out anymore. Like I don't care. Like
Yeah.
by the time they got to the conclusion of like how this stuff works and like what has been going on, I'm like I don't care now because I just feel like you've been I feel like I've my brain has just been like screamed at by like all of this stuff and bad dialogue and I'm just like I don't care. Like okay, cool, there's aliens and they had contact with the aliens and the aliens are in the animals and I'm just like the CGI and visual effects for the animals are terrible. It's just like what are we doing?
Yeah. And
That's my question.
it's like I feel like if the story had focused on like Josh O'Connor, probably like and also Colin Firth is the head of the organization. Like I understand he'd be involved to be concerned, but he's not going to be there on field ops looking for him either. Like his head of security is probably going to be the more guy. Like he's probably going to be the manager telling him what to do, and the confrontation would still be with him, but his head of security would be the ones doing all this investigating or stuff or using the MacGuffin or whatever. Like they could have just had Colin Firth, probably Colin Domingo, Emily Blunt, and just go from there. Like the theological debate about God and stuff and all those little back and forth dialogues that could have been done between Colin and him. Like I left because I have the information. Now I'm not sure I want to reveal it because this changed everything. And Colin Domingo's character could be the other voice saying, X, Y, and Z. Like Josh O'Connor could still make all those auxiliary opinions. This is going to change everything everybody believes in. I really only left because it was wrong. They're hurting something or someone. I don't even really want to disclose this information, but then calling like you should because X, Y, and Z. You could have had those two over the phone, have that dialogue. Those kind of things. Like I don't feel like fucking Wyatt Russell was necessary as a boyfriend because he
Why
just
was he
turns
there?
to he's their bumbling idiot for most of the time. Like and it was like the part I was annoyed the most with him being in there happens early in the movie where she tries to run over her phone, and I feel like this is a really big mistake on Steven Spielberg. This was overdone. Like I've mentioned my love repeatedly of like detail shots. There is no reason for you to cut twice for him trying to run over a fucking cell phone and have Emily Blunt get exasperated like, oh, you missed it. Let me go outside and put it like unnecessary. Like why is fucking her boyfriend here? Like they could have had her sing like they could have had him mention in the beginning, just a cameo kind of thing, talk about her moving, the initial thing of her changing languages, blah 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 blah. Because really, she drove to work herself, like, and they drive her car. She could have just left the hospital on her own. Some way. Like apparently the aliens communicate with her, so you could have expanded upon those abilities beyond her just like speaking languages. Now she somehow goes, "Oh, I can hotwire a car. Like, what am I doing? I'm on this autopilot. I'm doing stuff I don't know how to do," and continue from there. Like he didn't need to be there at all, kind of thing.
No. That scene went on for way too long. If I'm trying to back over a phone, I was like, really, this is the best use of our time? Like, yeah, there was something that were infuriating about this. And the thing is, like, there are certain shots, like when she's in the newsroom about to see her first report and they're doing that, like, constant shot moving through the set.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
That was good.
Like, there are good shots in here because it's, competently directed. And I mean, in terms of the cinematography, but it's just like, the choices to have certain scenes like that's the thing about like story and direction where it's like do we need all of these things like what I feel like every like if anyone should know this, it's Steven Spielberg. Like every shot needs to have a purpose. Like what are we getting from each thing? Because if we're not really getting anything, then we don't need to like them trying to back over the phone. I'm sorry, like
Why?
what did we get from that scene at all? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So like I'm just like let's make better choices. Like let's actually let's use the time that we have wisely. Like it just is so confusing to me how someone who is at his caliber like is just like, you know what, whatever, throw it in there. Like I just don't I really don't get it. Like and people are keep talking about like, oh, has he lost his touch or whatever? And it's like it's not even about him losing the touch because I feel like the movie was like well shot. John Williams' score was fine. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it
Mm.
was
It
decent.
worked.
It worked. You had great actors. It's like it's not even about that. It's like why tell the like what is the purpose of telling the story and telling it now and telling it in the way that you're choosing to do it? Like those are the questions that I have because I'm just like there are certain things that I feel like that were just way too overcooked to the point where it just messed up everything else. Like it made the reveal feel insignificant, and it also just made it again just feel kind of campy. Like it just didn't feel serious. And I feel like he wanted to take the topic of alien discovery seriously. Like he had like in interviews, like he's talking about how like there really is evidence of alien life forms and stuff like that. And like he seems very passionate about this. So I just feel like I don't really see that reflected in the film much. I don't see the seriousness of this reflected. And like even in Emily's powers of like being able to receive or even talk to people across different, I don't know, planes or whatever. Like in Stranger Things, you had like the void where characters can communicate, like you can see characters communicating to each other or seeing what's going on with other characters in this like
Mm.
black space through, I don't know, Eleven's telepathy or whatever she has. Like I would have rather seen those the depiction of how her
Mindscape kind
powers
of thing.
worked
Yeah.
or her what the aliens were doing with her mind than having her talk about it every single time it happened. I don't know, because to me, instead of like having a scene where we're running over a phone, I feel like it would have been better if we had like a scene of like her watching Josh and whatever in his cabin hiding out and we can figure out where he is that way. Like, I
Mm.
don't know. I just feel like there were different ways to really
Navigate
bring,
it.
yeah, navigate it, showcase it. And I just don't think they did a good job at that. I don't think the execution of whatever they were trying to do really worked. It was just long and exhausting and not that interesting.
Like like the whole thing I have with the animals was really bad CGI.
Oh,
And
it's
my thing
terrible.
also, like the thing with the cardinal was hella on the nose
Mm.
of flying kind of window, and then oh, and now I can speak Russian or Polish or whatever. And then the stuff with the deer at the cabin they're at, and he just stops there like, oh, they sent something. Nigga, how long have you been on the run? It's like the first time those deers have somehow been attracted to you, like, and you're saying, oh, it's probably because of the item. That means you've had this situation before. That means we didn't have to
Oh, he
have that
does.
scene of you attracted to
Yeah.
the deer. Shouldn't have, it shouldn't be the first time you see the deer. The deer shot was necessary because if you're on the run for that long, you would have already seen that kind of phenomenon already. But I feel like, oh, we have to show the audience that the animals they sense something intuitively. Not necessary at all. You know, and then the ending, where I guess they go back to the station and they fix the power, and Colin Firth's like, well, whatever, they won, and his head of security is the one upset. Like, you spent 2 hours trying to kill these people to just give up at the midnight at like the last minute when you could just say, fuck it, I'm this guy in the government with super secret powers. I could essentially just kill them as they go on air and nobody will touch me, kind of thing. You just go, oh, but they won. They're broadcasting stuff. Oh no, like,
Yeah, I the thing is like the whole point of like what happens is that Josh is like a receiver of the alien messages and Emily's like an interpreter of the messages.
mm-hmm,
And from childhood, they were contacted by these aliens. And so they have had these things with them for a long time. And then when that bird came through her window, they got activated or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, sure. I mean, I don't know. Like when I think about something like Arrival,
Hmm.
which is miles and miles better than this, like way better execution and like just I don't know, clarity of ideas when it comes to like why we're making a movie about aliens. Such a great film. And the point of all of that is really because their aliens are trying to get people on Earth to work together. They're trying to unify all of these very, you know,
Divisive
broken, not
things. Yeah.
divisive things, people, countries. Like it's all about unifying, right? Okay, great. Clear idea. They executed it well. They did a nice little twist. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I love that. Like, so even if you wanted to do something kind of, you wanted to spice it up a little bit, like they were able to do that. But it's a very clear message. The message of this, of like what the importance of the alien does, like why they come to, like, is it just, okay, everyone knows now. But my
Hmm.
thing is like, okay, well then what happens next? Like what is the point of us caring about it? Like what is the significance of us having proof of other life forms?
Yeah.
No, there, we don't know. We don't get answers to that. Like that's not. It didn't seem like the point of this movie was to show like why understanding that there are other life forms out there is important, irrelevant. It kind of just seemed like the fact that you don't have the information is an injustice to you, and so like that is the point of this movie. But I'm like, okay, sure, okay. And then when we know what happens, like it's just like how does it make anything change? How does it make anything better? It's just everyone just knows now. Okay, cool, great. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it didn't seem like the movie doesn't have a point. And so all of this
No.
convoluted stuff just feels like it's there to waste your time because at the end of the day, nothing is resolved.
Yeah. Especially how they paint it on the backdrop of using real life stuff. Oh no, U.S. and Russia tensions bad. We're closest to war than we ever been. But and then she says, what's the line she says that stuck out on me? Like, oh, when things like major things like this happen, it changes the world. And in my head, I'd be like, woman, we about to go to war. I mean, you got other problems to worry about. Like, what is you on? Like, I don't know. I feel like this movie's like really doing too much.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah,
doing the
which
absolute
is which
most.
is
Yeah.
is sad because of course, like I said, him the writer is Dan Culp, probably
Mm-hmm.
like Kelp, probably saying it wrong. He's worked with Steven on, of course, Jurassic Park series, War of the Worlds. Like this kind of feels like a prequel in a way to War of the Worlds, almost in a way,
This is like a
or kind of,
sequel to Close Encounters.
yeah. And then the Indiana Jones stuff, of course, he did Carlito's Way, he's done Mission Impossible, the first one, Jack Ryan, one of the movies, the first Spider-Man, another Indiana Jones, the most recent one, and the most recent Jurassic Park, and he's done other stuff independently. So this guy can clearly write and slash direct on some projects. But this, I feel like this movie was doing too much with a lot of stuff, and so we spent the time being told what is happening instead of being shown. Like, yeah, it's not a, and you're right. Like people are praising this. I think Rotten Tomatoes, I think not Rotten Tomatoes, like the reviews and ratings for this movie make no sense. Like one review has it, I think, at like what is it? I'm trying to look at the information right now for the reviews for it. I think IMDb has it like at a 6 out of 10, which I think is really fair.
Yeah,
Then
I think that's fair.
Rotten Tomatoes critic score has a 91 and Fandango has a 72. Like I think the most accurate rating out of all of them is probably IMDb. It's not bad, but this is not good either.
I really didn't enjoy this. I really did not like it. And I'm just kind of upset because I'm just like, I don't know. I loved Close Encounters and I loved War of the Worlds. I felt like they had a very clear idea of like what they were trying to say. Like War of the Worlds being like an analogy for like that post 9/11 terror. Like that as a child I watched that and I didn't even put the connection together that that's what it was like about. but it really affected me, and I was like afraid, but I loved it. And I
Mm,
just feel like if anyone could do a story like this, like it should be Spielberg. That's why I think that's why I'm actually more upset, because
mm,
again, it's like I'm expecting more from you, and it's like what this was, I don't know. It kind of just felt like he could make this film, so he did. Didn't really feel like there was a reason. Like it didn't seem like there was like justified in any way, and I kind
yeah,
of over that.
I feel like this movie is trying to like passion on a lot of things, of course. Before, when Trump initially already said, we're going to reveal the aliens, everybody, it's talking about a heightened state of surveillance that people fear. It's keying in on all those different things, but like the messaging is poor. In all honesty, like the movie really doesn't know exactly what it wants to do or say using those things. Like even before like conflict, U.S. and Russia, like that kind of thing, active war and conflict going on. Like the movie has no idea what it's trying to do in combining all those things that are most likely pulled from what's happening in real life, but it has no real way of putting them together effectively.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm,
Would not recommend. I feel like
no.
when as more people watch it, they're gonna come to a similar conclusion, and those scores are probably gonna change. But for right now,
Yeah, once the Spielberg dick riding ends,
yeah.
and
All right, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to check out all of our social media. Support us if you can. We hope that you're all doing well, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.
au revoir.